Hello, I'm Ali Langdon. Welcome to A Current Affair. After a night out with friends, Jess was waiting for an Uber when Nasir Kitsho pulled up, posing as her driver. Without a thought, she jumped in, quickly realising she was in trouble. It turns out Nasir has form. Jess isn't his only victim, and now she wants him kicked out of the country.
Within minutes, not even minutes, I knew that I wasn't going home.
These women trusted you to get them home safely, Nasir.
He needs to be used as an example to everybody else that we led into this country.
Do you think you should be allowed to stay in Australia after what you've done? Proudly posing with his driving certificate, this is Nasir Kitsho, and the man Jess says destroyed her life.
I was definitely a different person before this happened.
Nasir's face is burned in Jess's memory, and tonight she wants every Australian to remember it too.
It can happen to anybody, absolutely anybody, and it can keep happening because he's out again.
Fleeing a refugee camp in war-torn Iraq, Nasir was granted safety here in Australia. But after nearly 3 years living in Toowoomba on a humanitarian visa, he's betrayed that trust with crimes that will leave you outraged.
It wasn't a one-off. He's done all this on purpose. He knew what he was doing.
Jess is his unsuspecting victim. She was preyed upon by the calculated predator who posed as a fake Uber driver, picking her up after a night out with her girlfriends.
I was standing on the curb. I guess I was looking like a person that was waiting for their driver.
Confident and convincing, Nasir approached Jess on the side of the road, luring her into his vehicle.
He got there and said that he was my driver and he was going to take me home. So I got in the car.
But what Jess thought was a routine ride home quickly descended into a nightmare.
To get to Highfields, there's one way in and there's one way out. So from that 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, I knew that I wasn't going home.
Locked in his car, Jess endured a terrifying sexual assault before being kidnapped by Nasir, who took her to his home.
He escorted me inside his shed and he sat me down on the bed.
Distraught and fearing for her life, Jess says she didn't think she'd survive.
Just so terrified that this is it for me. How do I get out of this?
Left alone for just a moment, Jess made a split-second decision to ring a friend and pin drop her location before Nasir realised and grabbed her phone. Within minutes, police arrived, intercepting Nasir, who was attempting to leave the home with Jess.
If they didn't find me within those minutes of him putting me back in the car, I don't know where I would be today.
Arrested and charged with deprivation of liberty and sexual assault, Jess later discovered the refugee was already out on bail for sexual offences against a teenager while working as a DoorDash driver.
So that's strike one. Strike two is what he did to me. And strike three is letting him out again.
Nasir Kitsho. Bridget O'Brien from A Current Affair. Nasir, why did you fake being an Uber driver and touch women without their consent? Nasir, you sexually assaulted a woman and took her to your home against her will. What kind of person does that? Nasir Kitsho later pleaded guilty to a raft of charges, including 6 counts of sexual assault against 2 women and a child.
He tells us he's so sorry, he didn't know what he was doing to me was wrong, or what he did to the 16-year-old was wrong.
You say you didn't know that this was wrong here in Australia, Nasir, but isn't this wrong for women all over the world? Nassir's barrister urged the court to ensure his client's sentence wouldn't trigger Australia's Migration Act and, in turn, a visa review. In the end, he was jailed for 9 months over the predatory acts, just shy of the 12-month threshold that could have led to his deportation.
I thought our government was different. I thought that they would protect us.
The woman we spoke to, she said her
Just
life will
leave me.
never be the same.
Leave me, please.
How do you live with that?
How leave me? Just say I'm sorry. That's it.
What kind of message do you think the justice system is sending by allowing Nassir Kitcho to stay in Australia?
You can get away with anything here.
With time already served, Nassir was released into the community last month. Should women in the community feel safe with you free like this?
Yes, never I do it again.
I just feel like it's happened to me for a reason. Because if it didn't happen to me, he would still be out there.
Jess is now demanding the Department of Home Affairs review Nassir's file and revoke his visa.
You were escaping a terrible life in another country to come here and give the rest of us a terrible life. It's just not okay.
Because my culture in Iraq different. I'm so sorry for that. Never I do it again.
How can they believe that?
Because you see me, this is 1 week, like 10 days, I'm free, nothing happened.
How many chances does a person get? He needs to be used as an example. If you do the wrong thing, you will be deported.
Nassir, your victims have to live with the trauma of what you've done. Do you have anything you want to say to them?
Doesn't matter.
And Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke is now looking into options to revoke Nassir's visa.